matchups. This one, a dead-even matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks, the Central Division champion, and the Atlanta Hawks. Both teams finished this. You really talk about matchups, and there are great matchups here tonight and will be throughout the series. Dominique Wilkins at small forward for Atlanta against Marques Johnson. We talked to Dominique on how he plays the great Marques Johnson.
Well, the thing I'm going to do with Marques tonight, I'm going to try to keep him going to the middle, because if he gets the ball in the middle, he creates a lot of different things. And basically, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm going to try to play my game and hopefully play as well as I've been playing the last couple of games.
Moncrief's in the playoffs. I plan to make him take the outside jumper as much as possible and try to keep him out the lane, because he creates a lot of problems for the team when he's inside because no one person can play Sidney Moncrief.
With Bob Lanier, he's a very physical player, and he gets a lot of centers in foul trouble. But I feel that if Rollins, if the Hawks can get the ball off the boards and run a little bit more, and if Tree can beat Bob Lanier down the floor, he can cause Bob some trouble, because Bob will get tired in the fourth quarter, and it will be a definite...
Number 5, Lorenzo Romar.
We're seeing the end of the introductions with the lights out before this usual sellout crowd at the Mecca. They're about ready to introduce the starting lineup for the Bucks, and you're going to really hear some noise in this building. Charlie, these two teams match up very well. We said at the beginning that they split 6 games of interest to Atlanta Hawk fans around the country. Atlanta, in one of the games they lost here, had a 16-point lead in the second half and blew it. And in a game in Atlanta, that's the only game Milwaukee won in Atlanta, Sidney Moncrief had to hit a jump shot, a very tough jump shot at the very end of the game to send it to overtime. So the Hawks, in effect, match up very well with Milwaukee.
Number 10,
Well,
Dunleavy.
the thing is, the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks are two of the better defensive teams in the league.
6'4" will have number 4, Sidney Moncrief.
This game, and the Hawks come in here tonight hoping
And coach of the Bucks,
one
Tom
game.
Nelson,
If you
assistants
can
Mike
get through
Schuler,
this
Gary
line, what
St.
you want to
Jean
do right
trainer.
here tonight is just
In trouble. Milwaukee, the number 1 defensive team in the NBA. The Hawks, the number 2 defensive team in the NBA. It is the playoffs. It's going to be played a lot more physical, but in effect, Charlie, you really want to play your own game and not get too uptight.
You don't. You want to come out and play as loose as you can, and take your time and do everything. Don't rush to get things done. It'll all come to place.
We'll give you the lineups as we go. Here is Lanier. That's a big matchup. Rollins has to stay out of foul trouble for Atlanta to measure up against Milwaukee. And there's going to be a violation, a 3-second violation called by Jimmy Capers. All right, Atlanta's starting lineup, Johnny Davis and Eddie Johnson. The problem is who will match up against Sidney Moncrief. The backcourt of Dominique Wilkins, Tree Rollins, and Dan Roundfield. Atlanta has a problem with Moncrief on the offensive board. We'll give you Milwaukee. Dominique sends off to Eddie Johnson. Atlanta setting up very slowly. Roundfield in the lane for the short jumper. Good. And Atlanta takes a 2-0 lead. Now here's Milwaukee's lineup. The great Sidney Moncrief, he has the ball. Mike Dunleavy, who came here at the end of the year, a good outside shooting guard. Here's Lanier down low, and he puts it in over Rollins. The best thing is that Rollins didn't foul him.
That's right, and that's what Bob Lanier is going to do. He's going to try to create situations for Tree where he fouls him, and Tree did the right thing that time. He backed off so he wouldn't foul him.
The dish off by Davis. Baseline, Roundfield hits it again. Now, let me tell you this. As we said, if you watched our Friday night game from New Jersey and Saturday night against Detroit from Atlanta, Milwaukee, like those teams, does not have a guy to play Danny Roundfield. Of course, Buck Williams can play him, but Alton Lister cannot and has not been able to during the year. Down low, Lanier. They want to use him against Rollins. The hook is good.
Bob is so strong that when he goes for that hook shot and he gets bumped, he's so strong he has the ability to keep on going and still get the shot off.
We're tied at 4 early going. Up top, Rounds goes past Marques Johnson on the baseline. Dominique lost it as he went up. Here is Moncrief. Moncrief off to Dunleavy. He lays it up and in.
Bucks like to do that. They like to get the ball off the boards, and they'll run at every opportunity that they create by getting the ball off the boards and kicking it out.
It's a 2-point lead, Milwaukee. We've just begun from the Mecca. Rollins down low. Hawks should use him. Rollins the hook. It is around and out. And the rebound taken away by Marques Johnson. But the theory is put some defensive pressure on Lanier. Marques gives off to Moncrief, driving. He lays it in. Mike Fratello calls the play, and Atlanta brings it across. Dunleavy playing Davis, Moncrief playing Eddie Johnson, Lister playing Roundfield, Marques Johnson playing Dominique, and Rollins being played by Lanier. Dominique up top, no good, he got fouled. It'll be a 2-shot foul for Dominique Wilkins.
Now you have a good, he should get out and run as fast as he can down the floor, because it's going to make Bob Lanier have to run also. And over the course of 48 minutes, the longer Bob plays and the more pressure Tree puts on him, he has to get down the floor to try to
alleviate that. Gives it away to Atlanta. Here's a 3-on-1. Davis on the right wing. Eddie open. It rounds the rim and goes in. Eddie got a lot of the rim. Hit every section of it. It went in, and it's an 8-7 ball game. So Atlanta's trap worked the first time. Lanier trapped outside. Moncrief, as they want to push him to the sidelines and stop him going to the middle. Now Marques Johnson goes in the lane for the jumper, blocked by Rollins, taken away by Marques. He lays it in. Well, outside of the Lanier hook shot, every basket in Milwaukee has scored is by a layup, so I don't know if they're shooting well or not. Milwaukee by 3, 10-7, a good beginning to the game. All right, Johnny Davis against Dunleavy. He's much quicker than Dunleavy. Davis takes him baseline. His jumper blocked from behind by Dunleavy. All right, ahead for Moncrief. A lead for Marques. Marques, baseline. Jumper, no good. Rebound, Dominique. Atlanta's got to push it a little bit. Ahead for Roundfield. Shoots over Lister. It is no good. Rebound for Milwaukee Bucks there. Lanier gets the board. Milwaukee by 3, 10-7. We've played 4 minutes. All right, in front court, up top, here's Lanier. Hawks do not mind if Lanier stays out there. Now Lanier gets position low. Moncrief, the jumper is banked up and in. He didn't want to bank it.
No, he didn't try to bank that one, but he'll take it.
7.5 remaining in the first period. Milwaukee by 5, 12-7. They're very tough to run when the other team scores all the time, though. On the right side, Davis. Dominique up top, and there's going to be an illegal defense against Milwaukee. Charlie Chris is a guy who played last year for Milwaukee, and this year a bit for Atlanta. So you know these teams, and Milwaukee does play a lot of zone.
They do. They try to help on the weak side as much as they can. They like to cheat back toward the center. So if there is a pass inside, they'll be there and to help out on their guys that get the ball in the middle.
All right, down low, Dominique. His little hook is good. Hawks ran a good baseline pick for Dominique. He came around the pick, caught the pass, and knocked it in. Milwaukee by 3, 12-9. Moncrief outside for the Dunleavy 3.
You can't afford to do that. When Sid gets the ball, Johnny Davis has to pay more attention to Dunleavy, because Dunleavy will shoot that 3, and he will make a good portion of them.
Here's Davis on the drive. Baseline drive by Davis is good. They forced him baseline, but they were very weak in giving weak side help, and Davis knocked it in. Dunleavy shoots the 3 all the time. Very much like Darrell Griffith of Utah. He'll spot up after he passes the ball outside the 3-point area. Lanier up top. Moncrief goes baseline. His layup is no good. Rebound. Moncrief, no good. He got fouled. They call the foul probably on Rollins. It is on Tree. It's his first. And right now, Atlanta's going to take time. We'll see that play again by Moncrief as we go out. He missed the first one as Tree puts the pressure on. And Moncrief, boy, what an outstanding offensive rebounder. All right, very quickly, before we get back to basketball business, I was a bounder in a CAD Saturday. I forgot Paula Ann Newberry's birthday, 10 years old.
Moncrief wants to say happy birthday to his mother.
Okay. We took care of the birthdays and the greetings. Here is the apple of Mrs. Moncrief's eye, her son, Sidney.
As you saw the replay before the break we had, you saw Sidney Moncrief beat Eddie Johnson baseline. And Eddie has to keep coming. He has to keep coming playing Sid. You know you have Tree Rounds and Danny Roundfield back there, but it's always good for that guard to keep coming. Just don't stop outside and just let him go. Keep coming, because you never know when you might get the ball.
Eddie beats Moncrief inside, dishes off, but it's stolen by Moncrief. And Moncrief did just what Charlie told Eddie to do. He came back. Here is Dunleavy on the drive. Milwaukee has penetrated Atlanta's second-best defense in the NBA, and Atlanta's defense has been torn to shreds early in this game. The Bucks lead it by 7, 18-11. Johnny Davis, baseline. He's got it. See, Dunleavy is not going to be able to keep up with Johnny Davis unless Milwaukee gives him a lot of help. Dunleavy on the other end is a very good player. Good passer, handles the ball well, good shooter, but he won't stay with Johnny Davis. It's a 5-point Milwaukee lead in a very well-played opening quarter. Marques Johnson low. His shot blocked. Boy, Roundfield came over and made a great block, and Rollins was there too. That's good defensive help. All right, Davis front court off the Roundfield pick. Johnny, no good. Alton Lister rebounds. Milwaukee by 5, 18-13. Off the pick, Sidney Moncrief. He wants to go to the middle. It's stopped. It's jammed up there. Lanier will shoot the jumper. No. Rebound, Dominique way up. Atlanta will finally be able to run. Davis goes right to the hoop, draws the two-shot foul. Now you see why Atlanta has to run. If Atlanta runs, they're going to catch the Dunleavys and the Laniers up the floor, and Lanier is now leaving. He can't play a lot on those knees. Paul Mokeski comes in, and by the way, you'll meet Bob Lanier in a pre-recorded interview at halftime.
That's true, John. If the Hawks can get the ball out and run the break, they're going to beat them down the floor, because Eddie Johnson and Tree and Johnny Davis, they can outrun Dunleavy and Bob Lanier, especially when Bob Lanier takes a jump shot like he did the previous time down the floor. Tree can go ahead and take off if he sees that Danny Roundfield, Dominique has the rebound.
Johnny Davis has hit both, and Davis has 6 in the game. Atlanta down by only 3, 18-15. 5 minutes remaining in a very well-executed first period. Teams are kind of doing what they want to do. Atlanta has the trap on. Now they fall back. Marques, that drive is good. He always drives to his left.
That's true, and he's a good player. I mean, he's one of the finer players in the league, and when he goes to the basket, he goes hard and he goes strong.
He'll make that first dribble right and then cross over and go left. Here's Eddie in the lane. Danny Roundfield. His drive is no good. The foul, Dunleavy, the block on Dunleavy. If you want to see what team defense is, look where Milwaukee puts their people on this replay. That's team defense.
That's true. Everybody comes to the ball. You have 3 guys coming to the ball. They're going to make sure that they converge on the ball and make you take the most difficult shot as you can possibly take.
You see, Roundfield beat his man, and then 3 different people converged in the paint, that red area, and Dunleavy, trying to take the charge, drew the block. Rounds has missed the first. It's a 5-point Milwaukee lead, 20-15, 4:35 remaining in the period. Rounds has 1 of 2.
And you can see the way they play defense. That's why they're the #1 defensive team in the league. And all the good defensive teams will help each other. They play great team defense.
That they do. John Sterling, Charlie Chris at the Mecca in Milwaukee. We'll see you Thursday night as well, and back in Atlanta on Saturday. All right, Marques on the drive, and his runner is no good. He got fouled by Dominique. It is Atlanta's second team foul, but it's a 2-shot foul.
Wilkins, his first.
What would you do, Charlie? You played with Marques. Would you give him the outside shot or go up on him?
I'd give him the outside shot. I'd rather see Marques Johnson hit the outside shot than to go to the basket and get a lot of 3-point plays, because he is capable of doing that, and he's a good player going to the basket.
He is. He might be even better than that. Marques has hit his foul shots. Marques has 6 in the game. Dunleavy has 7, and Moncrief has 5. 22-16. It's a 6-point lead, Milwaukee. Davis goes baseline. They're forcing him baseline. That's where the help is. Now Dominique has it knocked away. Moncrief on the drive, lays it in.
That's Sidney Moncrief at his best right there. Anticipating the pass, stepping in front of Dominique, going down, and getting the 2 points.
And Atlanta's going to call time. And the difference in this game is that Milwaukee is playing much better defense. There you see the passing lane steal. Moncrief really ran with that ball, but however, it wasn't called, and he gets the layup. Timeout on the floor, timeout with the score, Milwaukee 24. To stay tuned and watch the baseball game after this. That game has been called up by bad weather in Cincinnati. Braves will be on the Superstation tomorrow at 12:30. Lister, blocked by Roundfield, great block. What a timing block by Roundfield this second. Davis on the drive, and Milwaukee got back and sealed up the middle. Make no mistake about it. The Milwaukee Bucks are a great defensive ball club, and they are out-defensing the Hawks. Eddie on the drive, stopped by Mokeski. That's helping defense. Dominique takes the jumper. It is no good. Rebound, Mokeski. Tremendous defense. Dominique makes the intercept. Dominique the drive to Rounds. He jams.
That was good hustle by Dominique Wilkins that time. Took the shot and came back so he could get the steal and hit Danny Roundfield coming down the lane for the dunk.
It's a 6-point lead, Milwaukee, 24-18. Atlanta's going to get Scotty Hastings in, first sub of the game for Atlanta. Dominique, another intercept. Atlanta ought to run the ball every time, no matter what, because Milwaukee is really defending their half-court game. Dominique, baseline, ran into Lister, blocking foul.
That's one of the toughest calls to make. Here, Lister, he moved over. He was moving. Dominique, they had a collision, and the foul was on Alton.
It's Milwaukee's 4th team foul, so there is no foul shots. Scotty Hastings comes in for Rollins at center for Atlanta. Rollins leaves with 1 foul. Now Bob Lanier comes in as Milwaukee will want to take advantage of Hastings. Dominique stopped by Lister. They double up Roundfield. Tough shot. And it is no good. By a lot.
Alton Lister
Milwaukee playing great defense.
Alton Lister has a lot of potential.
He's a pretty good shot blocker, Lister. Dunleavy outside. Baseline, Marques. Blocked by Hastings, foul.
Foul number 32, Dan Roundfield.
Fouls on Danny Roundfield. We'll see it again.
And see, Dunleavy right here, he splits the seams. He gets Dominique to come over and double. And then Marques Johnson beats him baseline. Danny comes to block the shot. He reverses it. And there's Danny just happened to be under him. And that's why they call the foul.
For Roundfield.
Now Rollins comes in for Roundfield. So Rollins can play Lanier again. And Hastings will play whoever is playing big forward. I guess Mokeski. Marques Johnson has hit the first. He has 7. It's been all Milwaukee tonight. They lead by 7, 25-18. But Milwaukee is really doing it defensively. Atlanta has been unable to run, and as a result, Milwaukee's #1 defense has shown that it's not just stats. Davis, bullseye. Johnny Davis off the pick. He has 8 in the game. Davis with 8 and Roundfield with 7 lead the Hawks. Dunleavy comes across. It's a 6-point Milwaukee lead. Moncrief, baseline, doubled up. Atlanta rotates the ball well. Now Moncrief, there's going to be a foul.
On the pass-off.
Fouls on the pass-off. Eddie Johnson draws the foul. It's a non-shooting foul. 1:49 remaining in the first period. Doc Rivers goes in. Johnny Davis goes out. Moncrief outside.
He's a great standstill shooter. Sidney Moncrief is just a great ball player. I mean, he does everything so well.
Doc Rivers will play point guard now. Hastings low, powers it, fakes it, and they call a walk. He should have taken the shot right away.
He should have. He got Mokeski up in the air. And when you get a guy like that up in the air, you're supposed to take the shot right away. You don't need to take an extra step.
Number 10, Randy Whitman.
Randy Whitman comes in for the Hawks, replacing Dominique. Atlanta now goes with Eddie Johnson and Doc Rivers and a front court of Randy Whitman, Rollins, and Scott Hastings. Milwaukee leads by 8. They can take a 10-point lead with a hoop. They isolate Moncrief with Rivers. Baseline, great move. Shot is knocked away, and Atlanta will run. Eddie against Dunleavy, had it knocked away, picked up by Rivers. He forces it up, and it's no good. Rebound is loose, taken by Rivers. Good hustle by Atlanta, even if they didn't run the break well. A minute remaining. Rivers past Dunleavy, lays it up, and no good. And Milwaukee gets a break. Here's a 3-on-2. Bridgeman, Mokeski.
Hawks have to get back. If they make a mistake or they miss a shot, everybody has to get back on the break and pack it in the middle so they can't do things like that.
It's a 10-point lead, Milwaukee, 30-20. Rivers on the drive again. He got fouled this time. It's a 2-shot foul. They're using Dunleavy as much as night delayed. We'll be on with the second game of this series at about 10 o'clock Eastern time. Doc has made the first. It's an 8-point lead, 30-22. 28 seconds remaining in the period. Milwaukee cannot run the clock out completely. Dunleavy comes across. There is 13 on the shot clock now and about 18 remaining in the quarter. So there might be 5 seconds left over. They isolate Moncrief. He runs over Rivers. Offensive foul. Jack Madden, a tremendous senior official in this league, made the call.
His Capers was going to call it the other way, I feel. He didn't seem like he was going to call it offensive foul. He's going to call that one on Doc Rivers.
7 seconds remaining in the period 6. Eddie goes by Dunleavy. The runner is good. At the quarter, Atlanta will be down by 6. Moncrief heaves it down court. Boy, did you see all the help they gave when Eddie went past Dunleavy, but he still knocked it in. And at the end of 1 period of play, the score, the Milwaukee Bucks 30 and the Atlanta Hawks. Rollins to help out. Eddie Johnson and Rivers with Rollins, Whitman, and Scotty Hastings. The Hawks are down by 6, and that is not bad because they were outplayed by a whole lot in that first period. Atlanta down by 6. Gives off to Hastings. Open. No. Rebound. Rollins tips it out to Eddie. Jumper. No. Rebound. Rivers. No. Rollins in tight. The hook is no good. Rebound. Paul Pressey. Pressey ahead from Moncrief to Lanier.
Paul Pressey is a very underrated player on this basketball team. He's a good player. He has a lot of smarts. He can handle the ball. He can play small forward. He's just a good all-around player.
Milwaukee has Pressey and Moncrief, along with Bridgeman, Mokeski, and Lanier. Bridgeman almost fouled Whitman. Jim Capers didn't want to call it. Whitman drives and gives off in the corner to Hastings. An air ball. A brick. And the 24-second violation is called because the ball didn't touch anything. Milwaukee leads by 8, 32-24. Mike Glenn now goes in for Eddie Johnson. It is Glenn and Rivers with Rollins, Hastings, and Whitman. Now Marques Johnson's come back, and Randy Whitman's not big enough or fast enough to play Marques Johnson, so the Hawks are going to have to give Whitman a lot of help. And you'll see Milwaukee try to isolate Marques Johnson. Here's a lead for Pressey, tipped away, and Atlanta will run. In fact, Atlanta has a lot of matchups, defensive matchups, which aren't very good. Glenn against Pressey, Whitman against Marques Johnson. Randy on the drive, leans in for the jumper, too long. Pressey, Marques Johnson ahead. Pressey walks. They don't call. Now they do call it.
It didn't seem like they were going to call it, but Jack Madden finally called it.
Atlanta down by 8. Charlie, I don't think that's too bad because Milwaukee's really outplayed the Hawks thus far.
That's true, John. It's not real bad. I mean, they're in this game. You have a long time to go yet. All they have to do is I think they're a little tight. They're playing like they're a little tight right now. They're missing a lot of shots they wouldn't normally miss. So it'll come around for them.
Whitman lost the dribble, and it goes over the half-court line. Jim Capers ruled that it wasn't Milwaukee. It was Whitman who knocked it across, and I think he's right. Well, Milwaukee could take a 10-point lead. They had that as their largest lead in the first period at 30-20. Paul Pressey at lead guard now. Lanier. He's doubled up, shoots the hooker. No. Rebound, Scotty Hastings coming back. Atlanta has rebounded the ball all right tonight. And that's the best thing they've done, though. But you're looking at a #1 defense in Milwaukee, and they play great team defense, great help defense. Off the double pick comes Glenn. He can't get the pass. Now Glenn gets it, but he's out of his range here. Glenn forces it. No good. A brick. And taken away by Pressey.
They're forcing a lot of shots. They're forcing shots.
That was Paul Pressey who drove down the lane and scored, and Atlanta calls time. There is a timeout on the floor. Timeout with a score. Milwaukee 34 and Atlanta 24. And register and make plans to attend the Hawks-Bucks playoff game Saturday night. Win a dream of a lifetime. $50,000 a year for 20 years plus 2 cars. Down low, Tree lays it in and gets fouled. That could be a big basket for the Hawks.
It is, and what Tree did that time was Bob Lanier cut the middle off on him that time. He spun back and got the little short jumper and got fouled. And here it is right here. See, he went the opposite way. When he took the hook in the previous play a few plays ago, he still tried to shoot the hook shot even though Bob Lanier was on that right side.
I mentioned it was kind of a big basket for Atlanta because the Hawks have to do something to stop the Bucks from getting a really big lead. 8-point lead Milwaukee, 34-26. Pressey and Bridgeman now the backcourt. A big backcourt. Up top, Marques Johnson. His jumper's good.
The Bucks are trying to take advantage of their size at the guard spot compared to Atlanta's size. When they've come down and run 3 or 4 times trying to isolate the guards underneath.
Glenn missed it off the pick. Normally gets that shot. A lead for Bridgeman. Was behind him where Junior might have had a layup. Bridgeman and Pressey along with Marques Johnson, Mokeski, and Lanier. A big lineup. Here's Mokeski's jumper cut.
When Mokeski took that shot, Don Nelson closed his eyes because Mokeski had Doc Rivers on him. Instead of posting him up, he elected to take the jump shot. Fortunately, he made it.
Rivers around Pressey. His layup is no good. He got fouled. It'll be a 2-shot foul. Well, elsewhere in the NBA, they're in the second period in Boston. And the first playoff game, we're going to see this again, the drive by Rivers, and he gets fouled. He double clutches and got fouled up on the rim. In the second quarter in Boston, Washington playing their slowdown game, Charlie. That game is tied at 27. In the second period in Dallas, Seattle leads Dallas by 10, 33-23. And get this, in the second period in Detroit, the Pistons lead New York 31-17.
That's tough. The Pistons are a very tough basketball team at home.
A lead pass thrown out of bounds. The Hawks get it back down by 11, 38-27.
I tell you, John, with a team like Milwaukee, those things are bound to happen sooner or later during the game because they like to throw the ball as far up court as they can to start their break.
Atlanta has put their starting team in, except for Glenn instead of Johnny Davis. All right, bringing it now. Here's Eddie outside. So Roundfield, Rollins, and Dominique Wilkins are reunited along with Glenn and Eddie. Glenn off the pick. Good pass. It was tipped away. And that would have worked. If that pass was clear, that would have been a layup for Roundfield. Pretty good pick and roll.
That's true because anytime Mike Glenn comes off that pick and he's open, somebody has to jump out on him because he'll hit that shot.
Dominique double. Takes a tough shot. No good. Rebound taken away by Paul Pressey. That was not a good shot by Dominique. Marques Johnson, they stop him from going in the middle. Bridgeman outside. And the rebound taken by Roundfield. Atlanta has to run. Bad pass taken away by Pressey. Marques Johnson.
The Hawks are just making mistakes right now. They have to calm down. Once they get settled down and play their game, they'll be fine.
It's a 13-point Milwaukee lead, 40-27. Davis will get back. Dominique on the baseline. They double up on him, and they steal the pass. Rotating over, Marques Johnson stole the pass. Good rotation, a lead for Bridgeman. He lays it in.
But the Hawks are going to have to, when they get double teamed, they're going to have to take a dribble out so they can see the floor a little bit better. They're just throwing blind passes right now.
It is Milwaukee's defense that is predominant tonight. That's why Milwaukee has the lead. Great team defense. Timeout on the floor, the score. Milwaukee 42 and Atlanta 27. Milwaukee really outplaying them. Lead by 15, 42-27. Johnny Davis back in for Atlanta. On the baseline, Roundfield can't get away, and there's going to be another illegal defense on Milwaukee. Let me tell you this, this is not a knock, because I've been praising Milwaukee's defense, but probably more than any other team in the NBA, they sometimes just play straight out zone, and they were caught then.
They were caught. They're so conscious of helping each other on defense that sometimes they just go. They don't think about where their man is. They just sag back in the middle and try to help their players so much.
That's the second illegal, so the Hawks got a tee, and Johnny Davis hit it. Davis has 9 in the game to lead Atlanta. Marques Johnson has 12 to lead everybody. But it's not points, it's defense, and Milwaukee has done it beautifully. 42-28, a 14-point lead. Down low, Dominique. He's guarded by 2 men and still knocks it in. See, Lister came over to help Marques Johnson. They never leave the lane, Milwaukee.
That's true, and he anticipated that time that Dominique was going to catch the ball, and he was already over there to help.
Marques Johnson now takes the jumper. Good. See, Dominique gave him the jumper, and Marques drilled it. He's drilled a couple in a row. He's got 14, and he is off tonight.
He is. He's going well right now. But there's nothing you can do about that. If you play up close, he's going to go by you and create things, so you let him get the jump shot.
Down low, Dominique explodes in the lane. See how many people are around him then? That's great defense by Milwaukee. They don't give you a clear shot inside. Milwaukee by 14, 44-30. Pressey, baseline, and he hits it.
I think Paul Pressey, he's a player of the future. He's one of the better players on this Milwaukee team, and he can really play.
Johnny Davis front court, 16-point Milwaukee lead. They're forcing everyone baseline. That's where the help is. Dominique in the lane. See, there were two men there, and he threw the ball away. In other words, Dominique got past his man. That's okay. And then he saw Mokeski and Lister, a couple of 7-footers standing there.
Right, but you would rather see Dominique put the ball up than just try to pass and throw it out of bounds. Put the ball up if you get in there.
In fact, he might have to stop around the dotted line and take his shot.
That's right.
Milwaukee by 16, 46-30, and really playing well. But it is defense where they're really shining. The shot is missed by Bridgeman. Rebound, Danny Roundfield. Roundfield brings it up himself. Roundfield, good stop and go fake. He goes cross court. Davis open. No. Rebound, tip back to Davis. In the lane, the layup is no. Rebound, Lister lost it. Taken away by Pressey. Milwaukee runs it up. Pressey, blocked by Rollins. Foul. Rollins is second.
Foul number 33, Rollins is second.
You know, last week I was asked by a lot of people, Charlie, where we were traveling, who would the Hawks much rather face? And I said, well, I don't know who the Hawks would much rather face, but I'll tell you the difference in the two teams. Detroit, you'd have to run and outscore them. I said, I'm afraid of Milwaukee because their defense is so great. They really defense you. And thus far tonight, that's what's been happening.
They do, John. They're not the #1 defensive team in the league for nothing. I mean, they play such great defense. They're always helping each other. They just play great team defense. When you have a team that plays great team defense and they help each other, you have to have a winning season.
Rollins leads with his second foul, and 1 of 2 made by Pressey. Milwaukee by 17, 47-30. It's their largest lead. Hastings playing center now. Hastings in the lane, fakes, and got stripped of the ball. Atlanta very, very tentative. Pressey dishes off, and it goes out of bounds.
Don Nelson is yelling that somebody hit it, but nobody hit that ball. Paul just got stuck. He had no place to go with the ball. He just threw it out of bounds.
4:30 remaining in the first half. Roundfield, they'll give him the 15-footer. Roundfield drives, knocks it in, and got fouled. When we see that again, they were playing way off Roundfield, and when he drove the lane, why, they converged on it, but Roundfield sliced in between him and still got the shot away.
Number 10.
And here it is. That's what you have to do when you play against big guys like Lanier and Alton Lister, who are shot blockers. You have to take the ball right at them, and you have to put the ball at the basket. Don't try to pass it too much in the crowd, because that's when you throw it out of bounds and you make mistakes.
47.
Roundfield, a three-point play. 47-33, 4:20 remaining in the half. At halftime, you'll meet Bob Lanier. Dunleavy fakes the 3 and shoots the 2.
When you run at Mike Dunleavy, you have to stay down. You can't run by him. You have to run at him and stay on the floor and stay in front of him. You can't run by him like that, because he'll fake you up and he'll hit that shot.
Eddie off the pick. His shot is long. Rebound, Lister. Dunleavy left, but the ball's going to be thrown out of bounds.
The Bucks do that a lot. When their guy shoots, they have the option to run at a guy and just keep going, hoping that one of their teammates can get the rebound, and you're already taken off. That's how they get a lot of easy layups.
Look at Don Nelson, the outstanding coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Davis to Eddie. Boy, Milwaukee just jumping out at everyone. Eddie has the open jumper. No. Rebound. And Atlanta is really in trouble. They can't get a shot down. Marques Johnson on the drive. His runner is going.
He's going good. I mean, when he's making shots like that, that's Marques Johnson at his best.
Milwaukee leads by 18, their largest lead, and Marques Johnson has 16. Great defense and good breaks. Fast breaks, I mean. Hastings has a shot and didn't take it. Roundfield does. He banks it in and got fouled. Oh, Danny Roundfield on a roll. Roundfield has 12 in the game, and he's hitting some pretty tough shots.
And Alton Lister never did one time play Scott Hastings. When Scott Hastings got the ball, he just backed all the way up. Scott Hastings has to be an offensive threat out there.
And by the way, Hastings is a good shooter from the head of the key. He should take the shot.
He should. You have to go in further, get within your range, and take that shot.
Hastings has good range on his jumper. Milwaukee by 15, 51-36. Roundfield keeping the Hawks alive in this game. Dunleavy, there he drives again to Lanier, lays it in. Milwaukee by 17. It's been all Milwaukee. They have really played well in every phase of the game. They lead by 17, 53-36. Roundfield down low. Lister gets help. Roundfield has to bring it outside. Dominique finds Eddie for a three. It is no good. Rebound, Alton Lister. You see what Milwaukee's done. They sealed off the middle. They're making Atlanta go around the perimeter on the sides and take shots.
And now they're going to run a play for Bob Lanier. John Nelson called a play, and he's going to run a play.
There's Lanier getting position, and Charlie called that play. Bridgeman at the shot clock. No. Rebound. Roundfield tips it, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Milwaukee.
They're trying to take advantage of the mismatch between Bob Lanier and Scott Hastings.
Outside, Johnny Davis. His jumper is no good. The rebound taken away by Lister. By the way, it's not your set. Our monitors look the same way your television set does. Weird. Atlanta runs. Can Eddie get it? Yes. Eddie on the drive. The layup blocked by Lister. Rebound, Dominique.
That's good hustle by Dominique. He followed the ball. A lot of guys would not have followed the ball and just waited back at half court, but he followed it and got the dunk.
Look at the monitor. You know what you see? The Twilight Zone. Oh, there we're back. For a minute, I thought Mark Goldsmith, our director, was going to turn into Rod Serling. Anyway, I say the Hawks think they entered the Twilight Zone. 53-38, Milwaukee by 15. Lanier. No. And the foul, Milwaukee. You want to hear who's a terrific pro in every phase of the game? Our captain, Danny Roundfield. He is playing his heart out tonight. He's not getting a lot of help, but Roundfield has really done the job tonight.
He has. He's playing very well. And when Danny Roundfield sets the tempo for the team, the team seems to respond. But as of yet, they haven't responded. But as the game goes on, they will.
Roundfield has 13 in the game and many rebounds. His 14th point, and Atlanta down by 14, 53-39. Milwaukee has Bridgeman and Dunleavy along with Lister, Lanier, and Marques Johnson. By the way, that was Lanier's second foul. Lanier down low. It passes off, and it's jammed. Roundfield gave help, and Lanier made the nice dish off to Alton Lister.
And that's what Danny has to do. He has to come over and help, because Bob Lanier is trying to take Scott Hastings, and Danny has to come over and help.
Eddie spins. In the lane, he lost the ball out of bounds. See, Eddie spun past his man. No problem there. And what did he run into? That redwood named Bob Lanier, and he lost the ball out of bounds. They're going to give it to Atlanta, but the only way to beat Milwaukee this way in the lane is to get down the court quickly before they set up, because once they set up, their team defense is just staggeringly good. And Atlanta's not really a good outside shooting team. Yeah, there's another foul on the pass-off.
And what they're doing, they're going to concede Atlanta the outside shots. They're doubling and tripling when the guys get the ball inside. And so they're telling Atlanta, say, you pass it out, we're going to run at your jump shooters, and they make it.
Every time Atlanta seemingly goes past their men and gets inside, they're met by 3 or 4 bucks.
Now, 35.
Kevin Greavy comes in for the first time tonight for Paul Pressey. So it's Dunleavy and Greavy. A backcourt pair you want to trap. 1 of 2 by Roundfield. He's got 15. Atlanta should put pressure on the guards. Milwaukee has 2 very slow guards in there. They're in there along with Lister, Mokeski, and Junior Bridgeman. 15 seconds remaining in the half, because they won't be in there very long, will they? Here's Dunleavy. Milwaukee's put good shooters in for the final play. Bridgeman launches it. It is no good. With 2 seconds, 1 second at the buzzer. And at the end of the first half of play, the score, Milwaukee 55 and Atlanta 40. Before the end of their playing days. But what do you think of Milwaukee's season, another 51 season for the Bucks, and how far can they go in the playoffs?
Well, I think we've been pretty lucky to get 50, 51 games out of this particular season. We've had a lot of inconsistency in terms of our performance. We worked very, very hard. I don't think that we're probably as deep a team as we've been in the past. So I think the coaching and guys working hard has contributed to us winning 50 games this season.
Now, you've had a very good season, and you've been very healthy. How do you assess your own health? People always talk about your injuries and your knees. How do you assess your own health going into the playoffs?
Well, I feel pretty darn decent. You know, I'm not going to eliminate the knee problems that I have. They're going to be with me for life. But if I can go out there and be productive, play my game, which is trying to play a little physical and not allowing the other center to just overpower me, I think that that'll help our ball club out a lot.
Well, you're more than a little physical. Talk about the guy you're going to play against, Rollins, in this series.
Well, Tree doesn't get that many shots up. His main contribution to their squad is his intimidation, blocking up the middle. He goes to the weak side to block up shots. He causes people to change their shots. They channel their defense into Tree, and he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the league at being able to intimidate and block shots. And that has helped them down the stretch because they started to run more. They're channeling defenses, and Tree has been a big part of that.
What do you think of the running game as opposed to a half-court game that you see so often in the playoffs? It seemed when we played Milwaukee this year, the Hawks, that Milwaukee did not run as much as they did before, but they do play a very good half-court game.
Well, I think it depends on the teams that you're playing. We go back and forth. We're not a running team per se. We'd probably like to be in a half-court game. Looking at Atlanta from the end of the season versus the beginning of the season, they were like set up, execute, all that. Now they're running more. Eddie Johnson's getting into the offense a lot more, and that's, his forte, quickness. They're getting all their people out. Dominique is running his tail off. He's shooting the jumpers, and I think that's the kind of game that they want to play.
One thing people should know, this year Atlanta was the number 2 defensive team in the NBA, but the number 1 defensive team was Milwaukee, and you're a big part of that because you're playing in the middle. Milwaukee plays great team defense. What are the philosophies of Don Nelson? How do you approach defense as a team?
We basically work pretty hard all year round playing defense. We have different stunts to be able to help guys. We don't want anybody to get embarrassed on the post, or if a guy like Danny Roundfield, for instance, has Lister in a bad position, we want to channel and get help. And it's mainly a team kind of effort. And Atlanta is basically the same way. Mike Fratello is out of the Hubie Brown era. New York does the same thing with Hubie. And all our 3 teams have a lot going defensively, but we need to put more points on the board offensively, each one of the 3 of them.
Absolutely true. Okay, just one very quick question and answer. Outside of Milwaukee, who's the best team in the NBA?
Well, I guess since you're here, I'll say Atlanta. I don't really know.
I think you're being too nice. At halftime, our thanks to Bob Lanier for coming by for this taping, and we'll have the second half action upcoming. At 40. Charlie, here's one thing. Milwaukee is shooting at 63% from the floor. But you know why they're shooting 63%? Because their defense has been so great. They've been able to get out on fast breaks, off rebounds, and off stolen passes, and off bad Atlanta shots, all caused by floor. Were saved at the foul line. They had $50,000 a year for 20 years and 2 car purchase necessary. The Atlanta Hawks have to get serious. If they play the same way in the third quarter they played in the first and second, this one is going to be over quickly. Milwaukee has outplayed the Hawks by a wide margin, and Milwaukee steals a pass intended for Roundfield. Milwaukee's defense has been smothering tonight. Mike Dunleavy and Moncrief, the backcourt for Milwaukee, with Lister, Lanier, and Marques Johnson. Atlanta has their normal starting unit. Right now, 5 on the shot clock. Lanier posted, spins, fakes, and hits it.
That's what makes Bob Lanier so good. I mean, he's just so smart. He hasn't been in the league 14 years for nothing. He's one of the smartest players in the league.
Eddie Johnson, front court. Eddie on the drive. See Milwaukee give help. Amazing. Davis on the drive. Got blocked underneath. Knocked out of bounds. But boy, when Eddie drove, he ran smack into 2 or 3 white shirts. Every time Atlanta gets near the basket. And there's only one way to stop that. That's get the ball down court fast before they set up. Of course, it's tough to do when they score. Dominique misses a layup. He got fouled.
That's one of the defense steps in getting their rhythm so they can shoot the ball.
I think Atlanta is going to have to take and hit a few more jumpers, Charlie, because, boy, Milwaukee has 5 shirts sagging in. Dominique has made his foul shots. He has 9 in the game. 57-42. Milwaukee by 15. The trap is on. Moncrief is really trapped well, too. He finds the middleman. Now Lister, he got blocked by Rollins. Foul, Rollins. Now I'll tell you why Rollins fouled him, or why it was called a foul. Rollins did block the ball, but he also got Lister with the body. It was a good call.
He did. He got the block, but there's the foul with the body right there. But you think, why would the referee call it when Lister was going toward the hoop? The offensive player is always going to get the benefit.
Now Milwaukee takes a 20-second. Lister went down hard. When you fall down that hard, and he probably hit his back or the small of his back, he might have had the wind knocked out of him. Jeff Snedeker is out there, the Bucks trainer. Now Lister gets up. Rollins is right over there too. Rollins and Don Nelson are exchanging a couple of angry words, and Lanier pulls Tree away and pats him on the back. I'll tell you, Don Nelson felt that Rollins hit him purposely. That's ridiculous, because Rollins, he didn't want to get his 3rd foul. He wanted to just block the shot. At halftime in Detroit, the Pistons at the Silverdome lead New York 53-40. At halftime in Boston, the Celtics lead Washington 46-39. At halftime in Dallas, Seattle leads the Mavericks 51-43.
Halftime, Boston 40.
The first game tonight, the second game on Thursday, as Lister has getting at 10:45 on Thursday evening right here at the Superstation. Braves baseball called off today because of bad weather in Cincinnati, and the Braves will be at it tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 from Riverfront Stadium. 2 foul shots missed by Lister, and the pass down low is knocked away out of bounds by Lanier, and Lanier, who jumped at Jack Madden, and Jack Madden told him, don't do that anymore.
Yeah. And when he jumped at Jack, he hit Danny a little bit. Danny was wondering why he got hit. He said he didn't make the call.
Now Atlanta brings it into Dominique. The Hawk offense has been thoroughly stymied by the Buck defense. Dominique takes a tough shot. He hit it. Marques Johnson got the ball on the way up.
He did. That's the strength of Dominique Wilkins, and when that happens, you have to have that strength in order to get the ball up. Otherwise, you never get it up.
13-point lead, Milwaukee. 57-44. A lob lead, Marques. Whoa, what a beautiful play by Marques Johnson.
That was a great play. And with Marques Johnson, you can run a play like that. As with Dominique Wilkins, as with the guys that have that athletic ability, you can do plays like that.
Down low, Roundfield. He's going to get doubled. Hawks have got to move also when Milwaukee doubles up and spot up and get ready for a good shot. Here's Eddie. That's a tough shot. He missed it. Rebound, Dominique. To the basket. The fall away is no good. He got fouled. If it's Lister, it'll be Alton Lister's 4th foul.
And here it is. And it's Marques up and 2 without ever coming down on the floor again.
That was the play before. It had nothing to do with Dominique Wilkins' 2 foul shots. Neek gets a couple. And the first foul shot was good. Dominique has made the first and the second. And the Atlanta Hawks are now down by 13.
They're not out of this basketball game. By no means is this game over.
The trap is on. Lanier outside will take that little jumper. He also is about as good a shooting big man who ever played the game.
He is. He's one of the best big men to ever play the game when it comes to shooting jump shots. He has a great touch.
Lanier's jumper outside and his hook down low. Just beautiful, smooth, effortless shots. Davis, played by Dunleavy, goes around him, and he got fouled by Lister. Now, that's what Lister does. That's wrong. Lister commits really dumb fouls, and that was one of them. He just fouled a 6-footer about 20 feet away from the basket.
That's true. What Don Nelson would like for him to do is step all the way out. Don't go halfway. Step all the way out and force the guard back the other way.
Milwaukee has 4 team fouls now, and there is 9 minutes remaining in the period, so Atlanta got to keep taking it inside. Davis on the drive, dishes off. Dominique lays it up, no. And Lanier made a nice defensive play. Lanier again. No. Rebound, Dominique coming all the way back. The pitch out to Johnny Davis. 15-point Milwaukee lead, 61-46. Question is, will Atlanta ever get a rush? Will they ever get 7 or 8 straight points? Davis against Dunleavy goes outside. Now Rollins low. Rollins posted up for the hooker. It's good. And Tree Rollins got his first big right-hand hook of the game down.
And that was a tough shot.
Yes.
That was an extremely tough shot.
Milwaukee by 13. Ricky Brown is set to get in for Atlanta. A pretty good low post player, Ricky Brown. Marques fumbled out of bounds. He knew that Dominique and Tree were coming back, and he fumbled it as he was ready to go up quickly.
And he was complaining to Jack Madden that Dominique held his arm before he took off, and that's the reason why he lost the ball.
Now, we do all the Atlanta games. Very rarely will you see Roundfield, Ricky Brown, and Rollins, a very big front line.
31, Ricky Brown.
That's unusual strategy by Mike. Let's see if it works. He very rarely plays a lineup this big. Roundfield, no. Rebound kept alive. It worked there, knocked out of bounds by Rollins. It'll be Milwaukee ball.
But the reason Mike inserted Ricky Brown in the game is because they have Mokeski and Bob Lanier. So they want to put beef against beef. And Ricky Brown is a very physical player.
Yeah, and also it allows Roundfield to be guarded by Marques Johnson, who's not quite as big as Roundfield. Down low, Moncrief, he got fouled, and the shot is good.
So they have to have some weak side help when Moncrief goes down the lane, because he's too big for Eddie Johnson to play, and Eddie needs help. Here's Ricky Brown, but he came a little bit too late, and Moncrief got the shot up and it fell.
Moncrief has 11 in the game. Milwaukee by 15. And now 16.
Number 2, Junior Bridgeman for Lanier.
Junior Bridgeman comes in, so Milwaukee now goes with a small lineup against Atlanta's big lineup. Don Nelson and Mike Fratello really matching moves here. Roundfield's drive is no good. Dunleavy got bumped and hit the shot.
What can you do? When they throw up shots like that and they fall, there's nothing you can do. Or you can just keep playing as tough as you can.
There's the drive, and the bump by Davis. Dunleavy hits the shot. Atlanta calls time. There is a timeout on the floor, and a timeout with the score. Milwaukee 66, Atlanta 48.
Mary and Justin would like to say hello to Chaz.
Do you know Mary and Chaz?
A little bit.
It's Charlie's family, little feller. Here's Eddie on the drive. Eddie banks it up too hard, but boy, I'm glad to see it. That's the first time Eddie's been able to get the ball to the basket.
That's true. And he did it quick. See, you have to do it quickly against this team because they rotate so well and everybody converges on the ball. So you have to make your move very quickly and get it done.
Milwaukee is just doing it all tonight. They really deserve this lead. They lead it by 19, 67-48. But remember, it's all been fashioned by their great defense. Moncrief got it again. And Milwaukee is running away with this one. They lead by 21, 69-48.
69-48.
Moncrief has 14. Doc Rivers is in. He and Eddie the backcourt now with Roundfield, Ricky Brown, and Rollins. Eddie, no. Rebound. Roundfield lost it out of bounds. Make no mistake about it. Roundfield is ready for the playoffs. He has his hand on everything.
He does. He's around the ball. He's very active. But everything else is just going bad.
right, here's Moncrief with Marques low. Two-man game, and he stepped on the sideline as he caught the pass. Jack Madden told him his back foot stepped on the sideline. Mike Glenn comes in. Glenn and Rivers. I'll tell you what, if he did step on the line, he has about a size 20 foot. He's wearing one of Lanier's sneakers, I'll tell you that. All right, here's Glenn front court. Down low for Roundfield. Down the lane, Tree walks. He walks. Tree made the old left-right-left move, and Jack Madden called it. 6 minutes remaining in the third period.
Returning to the Bucks lineup.
69-48.
For Dunleavy.
21-point Milwaukee lead. However, remember, Atlanta really needs 1 of 2 in Milwaukee, and they got another game here Thursday night, so don't give up the ghost yet. Milwaukee's having a big night tonight. A good lead. Back pick. A back pick for Moncrief.
And see, in a situation like that, whoever sets the back pick, the Hawks have to play that. They have to bump Sid Moncrief. They can't let him go to the basket that way with no help in the back.
Roundfield has hit one from the right baseline. Danny Roundfield has 17 in the game. However, Milwaukee leads it by 21. Moncrief outside for Marques Johnson. Long rebound, tipped and taken away by Rollins. Atlanta has to push it every time. I don't know why they're standing around. Glenn outside, no good. Rebound, foul. And it will be on Paul Mokeski, I believe.
Junior Bridgeman. His second personal.
Well, they call it on Bridgeman. I don't know where he was, but
I don't know either.
I thought Mokeski shoved off, and anyway, Roundfield goes to the line.
But Junior's a little sneaky.
It's a good shot of the captain of the Hawks, Danny Roundfield. Roundfield's been superb. The others have really had problems against the stifling defense of Milwaukee. Browns has 19. See, Milwaukee has Paul Pressey and Moncrief out there, along with Marques Johnson, almost stripped of the ball. Bridgeman and Mokeski. Here's Mokeski in the corner. Bridgeman, oh, what a perfect shot.
He's a great jump shooter. Junior Bridgeman is one of the pure shooters in this league, and he is not afraid to put the ball up.
73-52, Milwaukee by 21, and they deserve it too. This has not been an accident. Rollins down low against Mokeski. He's doubled up. There's the steal again. There's the rotation steal. Moncrief will get a layup.
What can you say? I mean, he's such a great defensive player. He's the defensive player of the year last year. He's going to make the all-defensive team again this year. He's just a great player.
You know, we have to go to a commercial, but can you imagine a guy as good as Moncrief, who last year led his team in scoring, rebounds, and assists, and was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year? Is that a pretty good player?
That's a great player.
Wow. Maybe the best all-around player in the league. Timeout on the floor with a commercial coming up. Timeout with the score, Milwaukee 75 and Atlanta 52. Fault, they called it 20. Here's Doc Rivers on the drive. He lays it up, no good. Atlanta cannot buy a basket tonight. Milwaukee by 23 with 4:14 remaining third.
There's not a lot of change, but he'll make some adjustments to adjust for what the Bucks are doing to him tonight.
Milwaukee has double teamed so well and has moved into all the passing lanes after the double team that Atlanta's going to change a couple of things tomorrow at practice for Thursday's game. 75-54 and the 2 foul shots. An almost steal, but Milwaukee, it's funny, when good teams are playing good, they get every loose ball. Milwaukee's getting that tonight. Here's a drive by Bridgeman.
I tell you, when the Hawks put on their trap, the Bucks are trying to send all their passes to the middle. They feel that if they can get the ball to the middle, they'll break the trap up, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Glenn brings the dribble out. Now there's Ricky Brown low. Doc Rivers missed the stuff, hung on the rim, technical foul. The reason Doc Rivers held onto the rim, I think he was afraid of coming down too hard and hurting himself, but when you hang on the rim, it's an automatic technical foul.
That's true, because he had an opportunity, they feel, not to hang on the rim. See, but if he would have let go of the rim at that time, he felt that Junior Bridgeman would have been under him too far, and he would have fell and gotten hurt.
Moncrief makes the tee. Moncrief has 19 in the game, and he has 10 of them in the third period. Milwaukee is simply doing it tonight. They lead by 24, 78-54.
Number 5, Lorenzo Romar.
Lorenzo Romar comes in. That is Romar, number 5, little lefty point guard. Pressey, his pass is knocked away. Atlanta the other way. Rivers takes the middle, goes to the hole and lays it up and in, and he got fouled. Doc Rivers.
That was a good play by Doc Rivers. He gets the ball. He sees the opening. All Doc Rivers needs is a slight opening. There's Sid trying to get the offensive foul, and Doc Rivers makes the basket.
Doc Rivers will get a foul shot. 3 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the third period. 78-56, the Bucks by 22. Rivers has 8 in the game. Pressey and Romar in for Milwaukee, along with Mokeski, Moncrief, and Bridgeman. It is a small lineup with Mokeski. Bridgeman on the drive, and they're going to call a travel on Junior Bridgeman, so take the basket away. Atlanta has Randy Whitman, Dominique, and Hastings, so they're the same kind of size lineup, along with Rivers and Glenn. What both teams are doing is playing two small forwards at the same time up front. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the third. Milwaukee leads it by 21. Three on the shot clock. Hawks better get it up. Dominique does, and it is rebounded by Moncrief. Spins away. Sidney Moncrief. Trailer is Romar to the basket. Blocked by Rivers and picked up by Dominique.
Two guys got that shot.
Dominique on the baseline is doubled up. Whacked at by Mokeski. Glenn way short. Glenn shooting way off tonight. Ahead from Moncrief. Dish it off, and the layup is no good by Bridgeman, but he'll get 2 foul shots.
What can you say? They're getting the ball out. They're running. They're playing good defense. They're getting so many fast break baskets that it's tough, especially when a team shoots over 60%. You shoot 38.
Atlanta takes time. This time it's a full timeout. There's a timeout on the floor with the overpopulated with great talent.
That's true, but you'd have to name him also.
Oh, he's there. Dominique is there. Bernard King, Dr. J, Larry Bird,
Adrian Dantley,
Jamal Wilkes.
It's a lot of them.
Kiki Vandeweghe. We have a whole bunch. Eddie Johnson of Kansas City. There's a bunch. Junior Bridgeman's made his foul shots, as is his wont. And Milwaukee leads by 23, 80-57 with 2:06 remaining in the third. Dominique gets a shot inside. No good. Rebound. Dominique got it back. He got butchered by Mokeski, and it'll be a 2-shot foul.
One thing.
Full ball club in the paint. 3 feet from the basket. That's good defense. Neek has made a pair. He has 15. Milwaukee by 21. 2 minutes remaining in the third. You know, one thing Don Nelson's doing, as long as the lead is big, he won't bother putting back the Laniers and all. Here's Mokeski rolling in the lane. Good pass by Romar. And so it's not taking a lot out of the Bucks to win this game if Atlanta does not put on a charge.
They have to put on a charge. They have to do that. Some point in this basketball game, they're going to have to do that.
Doc Rivers stepped the sideline. A minute 20 remaining in the third, an 82-59 lead for Milwaukee. Bridgeman, his shot is missed. Rebound, Scotty Hastings. They jammed the outlet pass, and Romar almost stole it, and it came off Romar's foot. It'll be Atlanta ball. You know, it doesn't hurt Milwaukee, this crowd. It's a small building, as you know. They sell out all the time, and it does not hurt. Good home court advantage kind of building. Down low, Hastings. His shot is good. Like someone had a pretty good line. They call the Mecca here in Milwaukee the Palestra of the NBA. It's the small building in Philadelphia. Mokeski.
What can you do? Everything's going right. They can't do anything wrong tonight.
You don't think that's in Nelson's playbook, do you?
No, I don't.
And you know his playbook. 84-61, Milwaukee by 23. 20 seconds remaining. Johnny Davis has missed it. And the rebound is knocked out of bounds by Mokeski. It'll be Atlanta basketball. .15 seconds remaining in the third period. Now 8 seconds remaining. Rivers takes an outside shot and missed it. Rebound, foul, Hastings. Atlanta over the limit, and it'll be.
And consequently, another guy got a foul.
You know, Mokeski is certainly not a great player, but he certainly has become a very utilitarian player, helpful player for Milwaukee in the time he's been here.
He has. He's come on to be a very strong player for this team right now.
That will end the third period. Shot at the back of the rim. 1 of 2 for Mokeski. At the end of 3 periods to play the score. Milwaukee 85 and Atlanta 61. Standing coach of the Houston Rockets, and he'll have another club soon because he's too good a coach not to be with a team of his own. Fourth quarter begins. It's a 21-point lead for Milwaukee, 85-61. Romar, Greavy, Pressey, Moncrief, and Mokeski. And Paul Mokeski is having the night of his life tonight.
He is, but he's a good shooter.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize that. He's a good shooter. To be 7 feet tall, he's an excellent shooter.
Mokeski with 11 in the game, but has really played well on the boards and helped out defensively. Somewhere he's always in the lane. Big body of his. Davis on the there's Mokeski again, but Davis floats that one over. Mokeski really fools people. He looks so ungainly, but if you leave him alone, he's not a bad shooter. Romar outside for Pressey. Oh, and he jammed it in over Rollins to show some athletic ability.
John, I have told you, Paul Pressey is an underrated player. And you give Paul Pressey another year or two, and people will realize how good a player he is.
Milwaukee kicks it out of bounds.
And he's a tremendous defensive player also. He plays offense. He's a good defensive player. He's an overall excellent basketball player.
Milwaukee by 26, 89-63. Eddie goes right down the pipe, and he got fouled. It'll be a 2-shot foul. Atlanta has Rollins, Roundfield, and Randy Whitman in there with Johnny Davis and Eddie Johnson. Randy Brewer, the rookie from Minnesota, comes in. Randy Brewer is about 7 feet 18. But he's not built like Mokeski or Lanier. He's kind of a skinny guy still.
I'm sure that the Bucks will put him on some kind of weight program when the end of the season is here.
It would be great to be like Randy Brewer, Charlie, and be able to eat all the bad food you want. not have it show any. Here is Romar outside for Pressey. Mokeski again. This one misses, and the rebound is tipped by Brewer.
What can you do?
Well, it really doesn't matter. What's the difference if you lose by 20 or lose by 80?
That's right.
You got to come here Thursday and play, and it only counts for 1 win. Milwaukee is going to get that win tonight. They lead by 28. The hunt is about over. Eddie misses, and the rebound taken away by Mokeski. Now the idea is for Atlanta to regroup, make some changes, and see if they can get a game Thursday. Romar has missed it. Oh, it's going to be fun now. Run and gun and have some fun. 91-63, Milwaukee by 28. Roundfield got fouled on the drive. He hit the drive. Well, that's a tough drive by Danny. He was going out of bounds when he threw that up with the right hand, going to his left.
That's true. Danny makes up his mind. He's going to the basket.
9:30 remaining in the game. 91-65. Milwaukee has simply played a great basketball game tonight, and they have murdered Atlanta. Mokeski again.
And right now they're just pouring it on.
Well, Paul Mokeski doing it tonight. Here's Eddie on the drive. He banks it in, and that's when the game was won by the Bucks. Eddie hits a three-point play. Milwaukee by 25, 93-68. Under 9 minutes remaining in the game. Kevin Gravy misses badly, and Atlanta will run. Dominique. Baseline spin is no good. He got fouled. Once again, to remind you, if you're looking for the Braves baseball game after the Hawks game, they sold a lot of seats.
You're right.
The Hawk was coming out of the north. Dominique has made his foul shots. So the Braves game was weathered out, and Atlanta Braves will be with you tomorrow on the Superstation at 12:30 in the afternoon against Cincinnati. And we'll be with you via delayed tape at 10:45 on Thursday evening with Game 2 of this series between the Bucks and the Hawks. Greavy off the pick. Here's Randy Brewer. He misses, and Rollins rebounds. The shock troops are in for Milwaukee. Atlanta playing their starters. But soon it will be bench time for Atlanta. Randy Brewer gathers it in and gets it swatted away by Tree. Roundfield off to Dominique. He jams.
Dominique Wilkins.
They're in the fourth period. Boy, is Washington ever playing their game. They're losing by 9, but Boston 68, Washington 59, a very low score for the Celtics in Boston Garden. They're in the fourth now in Dallas. Seattle's lead has been cut to 3, 72-69. Romar, he missed it, and Eddie gets the rebound. Milwaukee by 21, 93-72. Eddie off a pick. On the baseline, Johnny Davis has got it.
Johnny Davis.
Milwaukee has absolutely taken Atlanta right out of this game tonight from the very beginning. They could not run their offense the way that they would like to run it. They just couldn't get anything going because of the defense that Milwaukee played.
93-74, it's a 19-point lead with 7 minutes remaining. Romar off to Brewer. That's a good play by Lorenzo Romar. He made the penetration, made a good pass. Now the other playoff game that's on right now, in the fourth period, Detroit leads New York in the Silverdome in Pontiac, 76-64. Johnny Davis off balance, missed it, but he drew a two-shot foul. In Milwaukee on Thursday, and Atlanta plays their home games on Saturday and Tuesday at the Omni. I know people are going to say, boy, you're optimistic that it's going to go 4 games. Well, I believe that very much.
That's right. This is only the first game. It doesn't matter which game you win to get that one.
Romar on the drive underneath. Sends it back out, stolen by Glenn. Here's Dominique against Mokeski. And Dominique takes it right to the hole. Dominique has 21.
95-78.
It's a 17-point lead. 95-78. Kevin Greavy, open off the pick, has missed the shot. Rebound, Rollins. 2 more baskets, and Don Nelson will go to his bench. Davis, no. Rebound, Roundfield, no. This rebound, Dominique. Glenn, bullseye. Mike Glenn finally got one down.
Say he'll go to his bench. He's already in his bench.
Well, Don Nelson just called a timeout. There is another timeout on the floor, and the score, the Milwaukee Bucks 95 and the Atlanta Hawks 80. We begin the play here in the fourth period with 5:30 remaining in in the ball game. Milwaukee's lead once about 25 or so has been cut to 15. Paul Pressey, and he passed off, so he doesn't get the two-shot foul. It would have been a two-shot foul. Dunleavy and Greavy the backcourt. Pressey, Mokeski, and Brewer up front. Now, what I meant by him going to his bench, sir.
Oh, okay. Explain it to me.
If Atlanta gets 2 or 3 more hoops, I think that the Marques Johnsons and Moncrief type people will come back in.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yes. 5:20 remaining in the game. Dunleavy has rolled it in. Good play by Mike Dunleavy.
He's a very smart player.
Yes, he is. Very much under control and a very good shooter. Good passer, too. 97-80, a 17-point lead. When Houston and Moses Malone went to the finals a couple of years ago in 81, Dunleavy was a starter on that team and a good, valuable player. Mokeski fouls Roundfield. It'll be a two-shot foul. And Roundfield has 2 foul shots. Brown's foul shooting has not been good tonight. Every other phase of his game has been just fine. 97-80, Milwaukee by 17 with 4:50 remaining in the game. Just under 5 minutes. Kevin Greavy had it blocked from behind by Dominique, and the lead pass stolen by Pressey. Dunleavy takes a 3. Off target, Pressey takes a 2. And Atlanta gets the rebound with Danny. Ahead, Dominique on the drive. His shot is blocked. Knocked away. I believe Brewer got that shot.
Pressey got it.
Pressey got the shot. Mokeski almost got his 6th foul. And Atlanta brings it in for Dominique. Look how many white shirts are there. Isn't that something? That is good defense, and they're playing it when it really doesn't matter either. Mokeski blocked by Roundfield. Foul Roundfield.
Here comes Mokeski, and there's Danny waiting on him. He didn't hit him too much, just a little bit.
Enough. You know, Paul Mokeski was a bench player in the NBA, first for Detroit, and then for Cleveland, and he was released by Cleveland. Picked up by Milwaukee, who wanted another big man, a guy to go in and play a few minutes, and he's made a home for himself here. He's never going to be a great star, but he's a very valuable bench player. He misses his foul shots. Milwaukee still by 17. Game 2 Thursday night here in Milwaukee. There's a block by Brewer. Brewer knocked his own man down. Rivers made the steal.
Foul is on number 5.
The foul was on Lorenzo Romar. That was outside. Meanwhile, Brewer got a block and got his own man.
That's right. He did. He jumped right on Pressey's head. That's right.
Ooh, and ow, and ooh. Ooh. Doc Rivers gets a couple foul shots.
Their foul shooting has been atrocious tonight.
Well, they got to go to the line and practice tomorrow. A lot. Rivers makes 1 of 2. Milwaukee by 16, 3:44. Paul Mokeski down low, and he takes a little trap.
No basket. Number 10, Randy Bridgeman, turning to the Hawks lineup for Wilkins.
Don Nelson shaking his head saying, Jack Madden, how could you make a call like that?
Glenn hits a shot. Well, it's a little easier to take when you're up by 16 and a couple minutes left. 97-83, Milwaukee by 14. Just over 3 minutes remaining in the game. Randy Brewer blocked again by Rollins. And the charge by Dunleavy.
That was a good call. He did put his arm out and push Doc Rivers.
Under 3 minutes remaining as you see the charge taken by Rivers. Look at Milwaukee play the lane. Randy Whitman takes the short jumper and hits it.
Randy Whitman had two guys running at him on that shot.
It's a 12-point lead with 2:30 remaining. Brewer's going to try Rollins. No, he won't. And Pressey gets fouled underneath. I thought Brewer was going to keep trying Tree until he had Wilson stamped on his forehead.
It's Spalding, not Wilson.
Oh, excuse me, they changed, yeah.
Here's the foul here by Doc Rivers on Pressey.
You know why it becomes a part of American jargon? You have to go back a couple of years. When Russell and Nate Thurmond were playing, and Wilt, they were called Wilson burgers, weren't they? First foul shot by Pressey is good.
That was a little before my time, John.
I remember you, Nat Holman, and Joe Latching. Pressey. He makes a pair. 2:15 remaining. Glenn Rivers has missed it, and Whitman rebounds it short. And here's Pressey. Who's down court? Mokeski. He's on the break. Dunleavy. Stolen by Mike Glenn. The Stinger has it knocked away. Under 2. This game has deteriorated.
We cannot even hold the ball.
It's a 14-point lead, Milwaukee, 99-85. And, you know, the score here does not indicate really how badly Milwaukee beat the Hawks tonight, because they just took them out of their game in the first half with terrific defense, terrific team defense. Randy Brewer get it swatted away again.
Randy's going to have to learn that when you play against a shot blocker, you have to fake. Give him one fake at least.
And you have to throw the other arm out and hope they don't call it. Billy Paulson and Mark Landsberger are back in the Atlanta lineup. Mokeski missed that shot. 1:30 remaining. Glenn forces it up, and that's knocked away by Brewer out of bounds.
He has a few blocks tonight.
Romar was holding on to Glenn. Now Glenn gets away and hits the jumper. A minute 24, and I hope no one gets hurt by the time this game is over. 99-87, it's a 12-point Milwaukee lead. Mokeski got his arm raked by Doc Rivers. It'll be Cincinnati. And then we'll see you Thursday night on delay tape at 10:45 Eastern Time. The Hawks and the Bucks in Game 2. And on Thursday night, a very important game for Atlanta. Mokeski makes a pair. .101.87 and a minute remaining. Billy Paul takes the old hooker. And his hand has never lost its skill.
The Whopper.
The Whopper. And Sophie and Bill Pulse in Upper Saddle River go nuts. Excuse me, River Edge, New Jersey, not Saddle River. Pressey misses the shot. The Whopper will do it again. Shot that one a little hard. Dunleavy. Oh, showtime. Paul Mokeski. 25 seconds remaining. Milwaukee by 14, 103-89. Paul Pressey with the steal.
It's the dunk. Oh, he fooled me.
Only 10 seconds remain as Pulse takes and misses the jumper. Dunleavy at the buzzer. And tonight in Game 1 of this 5-game playoff series, Milwaukee wins it and wins it emphatically. We'll get back with a recap in a minute. Right now, the final score, Milwaukee 105 and the Atlanta Hawks 89. carnage has been completed, and Milwaukee wins it big, 105-89. And this game was really won in the first period and second period as Milwaukee's tremendous team defense took the Hawks right out of their game, and this really never was a ball game, Charlie. Milwaukee won it, and the Hawks going to have to make some changes before Thursday night.
They are, John. They're going to have to make a few changes, a few adjustments to compensate for the way that Milwaukee plays their swarming defense. They're going to have to start passing the ball out a little bit more, hitting those open shots, and making sure that when the ball goes on the glass that everybody gets back.
Okay, tonight, if you want to think of high scores, Dominique Wilkins and Danny Roundfield had 21, and Johnny Davis had 15. Milwaukee, led by Marques Johnson, who had 18. Paul Mokeski was just terrific tonight. He had 17. And Milwaukee really won it on the defensive end. Their defensive end allowed them to get the ball out of the break, and Milwaukee had many easy shots in the first half. They shot 63%. They won it from beginning to end. No question about the better team tonight. It was the Milwaukee Bucks. They win it 105-89. Game 2 Thursday night, and it'll be shown on television on the Superstation across the country on delay tape beginning at 10:45 Eastern Time. Remember, the Braves will be on tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon from Cincinnati. So that winds it up tonight. Milwaukee wins it by 16. 105-89. This broadcast authorized and the rights granted by the Atlanta Hawks Limited, intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game in whole or in part without the express written consent of the Atlanta Hawks Limited and the Turner Broadcasting System is prohibited. And the announcers for the event employed by the Turner Broadcasting System with the approval of the Atlanta Hawks. Price